Hi, welcome back to Tech 101. I'm Paul.
And I'm Gina, and if you haven't seen our show on Inside the PC, you might want to jump over and check it out before watching this episode.
Right, because today we're going to take a deeper look at the motherboard and the essential things you should know about it.
The first thing to consider when talking about motherboards is the form factor, which is simply the physical dimensions of the board. The board size dictates the size of the case or chassis, which holds the rest of the system components. A larger desktop motherboard generally has the space for more system expansion capability. Compare that to a laptop motherboard, which fits into a smaller space.
Now, here is an Intel desktop motherboard. It has room to grow in the form of add-in cards. Here are the expansion slots that hold the cards. These are the slots that can be used to add functionality like graphics or audio. And here are the slots where you can add in memory.
Now, by comparison, laptop motherboards are highly integrated and customized to fit into a very specific space. The processor is actually soldered to the motherboard. This is one of the reasons that laptop computers are difficult to upgrade and expensive to repair. Often, the failure of one laptop component requires a replacement of the entire motherboard.
Now, when components are plugged into the motherboard, they can communicate together. These components attach to the motherboard through internal sockets and slots. A processor socket is a special type of integrated connector designed to house a microprocessor on the motherboard.
With slots, you can connect various expansion cards to the motherboard. These are where you can add cards to add functionality to the computer, such as a TV tuner or graphics card. So Paul, you can play that StarCraft 2 game we were talking about.
I think I'm just going to stick with solitaire.
You probably should. You can also access the motherboard from outside of your computer through ports like these: USB, Ethernet, and FireWire. These allow you to connect devices to the computer, like a camera, mouse, or a cell phone.
These ports are also where you can plug in thumb drives, hard drives, and disk drives for extra storage to move files around.
You know, Paul, there is one other important component on the motherboard that we haven't mentioned, and that is the firmware or the BIOS, which is short for Basic Input-Output System. The BIOS is software that runs when you start the system to help initialize the system devices in the background and helps ensure that all the components work together. BIOS is a big topic, and we'll cover that in another show.
Okay, let's take a look at some viewer mail from a question that lines up with today's show. Today we have a question from Amber. She writes, I find all the possible combinations of hardware gets very confusing after a while. Is there an easier way to figure out the relationship between all the different components?
Amber, there's no question. It can get complicated. Fortunately, we can point you towards a resource to make it a lot easier.
You can explore a wide variety of hardware combinations, including seeing what other components can work with the specific motherboard by going to the Intel.com support site.
Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Be sure to send your questions to the email address on your screen.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Gina, and we'll see you next time.